I do hear frustration from people who maybe say, oh, well, I try doing techniques such as breath work, and I find that it doesn't work for me. And I try and say to them to try and do that almost like in a weekly routine when they're starting off, instead of doing it in the middle of a panic attack. Because if you're trying to do breath work in the middle of a panic attack for the first time, it's just more like 9 out of 10 times it is going to make the anxiety worse. So yeah, I like incorporating it over over this weekly routine. But yeah, high functioning, definitely, I would say most of the panic disorder people would say, oh, you seem calm, you seem, you're doing your job properly. My managers, they wouldn't know. My partner at the time, again, they wouldn't know. And I'm saying I'd be sat next to my partner and I'd be sweating and be like, oh, why are you sweating? It's not hot. And I'm like, well, I'm dealing with panic here. And she's like, oh, I would never have guessed. And I think that's really, really interesting on how we can really break the stigma as well. Because you could be, when people say with social anxiety, oh, I'm in a group and what if everyone's looking at me? What if they see that I'm anxious? I always say to them, well, probably if you're in a group of 10 people, there's probably 7 other people that feel exactly the same way. Because anxiety doesn't have a set face. It doesn't. And it can really present itself. Like you say, the most confident people could have just had a panic attack. They could be speaking and dealing with anxiety in that moment. And I think that's really important to recognize.
Yeah, you never know what people are going through, so don't assume, right?
Definitely.